Hi there, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Catherine, and I'm working on a book from 1885, the works of William Shakespeare, Volume 2. There's our little cover, and it's so pretty. I'm going to leave it be. I may end up putting a tie around the whole thing with lace. But it's going to be pretty lacy, so we'll see. I can leave that. I don't want to do anything to it. It's so pretty. And I'm going to leave it be. But I have to work on the cover today. The cover. The first page when you open it. And I've been trying to decide what I want to do. The cover was in lovely condition, but the pages were not. Very cracky, any slight bend, and they just crumble. So, but I wanted to use the front page because it says 1885 there, and I just did the best I could to lay it down flat. But it's a little bit. It's just looking its age. So, and we're okay with that, right? We embrace the imperfection. I put lace on it. Make sure you put your lace on after you've put your papers through your press. However many times you're going to do that. Mine went through twice, simply because I added more pages to it. So I'm happy with the amount now because the lace does bulk it up. Just the sewing along the edge is enough to bulk up your journal. So what I want to do today is just make that front page a little pretty. I want to draw the eye away from the imperfections in the gluing. When old paper is that thin, gluing flat can be really tricky. And I didn't want to have to use my aerosol spray. I wasn't in the mood to, it can have a really strong odor, and I wasn't in the mood for the odor. So I did my best with glue stick and art glitter glue, and it is because it's just a single page, fortunately, this was on the correct side. Otherwise, that would have been tricky to try and save when paper's not in good condition. And the front page is so beautiful. Like, I think this is beautiful. But the copyright date's on the back of it, but the paper is in bad condition. Ideally, it would have been nice if this paper was strong. I would have simply glued it along here the way they put color plates into old books. I would have done that. But you know what? It just wasn't meant to be. But I found this little painting that was done by Queen Victoria. This was her daughter Alice. So this is from the book, the sketchbook. Queen Victoria's Sketchbook, I think it's called. I see it frequently in my thrift store, and I take it takes all the strength I've got not to grab another copy. I'm determined to use up the copy I've got because I see it so frequently. Of course, by the time I use up the copy I've got, that's when I won't be able to find it anymore, but I'm not going to borrow trouble for now. I'm thinking I want to, even though there's lace here, I want to maybe run a little bit down just the edge of the paper. Again, I want to draw the eye over here to sweet little Alice there in her little hat and the 1885. If you hear noise in the background, it's recycling day, so they're collecting up our boxes of recycling. So I do think I want to do that, although I toyed with the idea of ribbon. And I'm not ruling that out either. So, not sure. The lace is a little more subtle, and I think the lace is less likely, it is more likely to simply give a little nod of "isn't she cute" to sweet little Alice. Now, I think I want to put this little flower behind her, but these are some of the flowers that when we were waiting for a nursing home bed to open up for my mom, I spent all of my days over there just keeping an eye on her to make sure she didn't try and walk. She was recovering from a broken hip and broken ribs. But because of her dementia, she'd forget that she can't walk. And it wouldn't dawn on her that she was in a wheelchair. She'd think she was sitting in a chair. And she would literally just get up and start walking away. And of course, very frail and wobbly. And so it was my job to find something nice on the television and sit with her and chat with her and fussy cut. And I'd hand her the next fussy cut after I cut it out. And so I would leave myself plenty of room so that I didn't take too long to fussy cut, but get it out of the book. And she'd enjoy looking at it, and then it was her job to put it into the little sandwich bag. And that's what we did it took about 8 days, because I wanted a specific nursing home. She needed a nursing home because she needed the equipment to be able to lift her out of her chair and have the proper tub that could lift her into the tub. It was an amazing, amazing place. And they had this big tub, and she could just soak in the tub. I just imagined it felt so good on her bones. And they had everything needed. They even had a contraption that could lift her comfortably because she was in a lot of pain. Her hips were hurting, her ribs were hurting, everything else hurts when you're in your 90s. And it could even lift her on and off of the throne. So I decided I had the time to sit with her and make sure that she was safe during the day. She's fortunately slept all night, so she was quite safe at night. And she had a little one of those "help, I've fallen and I can't get up" things on her. The kind that will still alert you even if they don't know to push the button. It will sense that there's been a fall. So she was okay at night, but during the daytime, when she'd forget, "Oh, what do you mean I can't walk?" I'd be there. And we'd find, it was in December, so we'd just find another Hallmark movie and put it on. Or else, The Price is Right. Anyhow, that's where all these came from. So that's why they're mostly fussy cut. And sometimes this much fussy cutting I like. But sometimes I want it a little bit closer to the illustration. And in this case, I do because I want more focus on sweet little Alice there. And I think I will achieve that by getting rid of more of this background. So that's my goal. So I am going to pause and finish fussy cutting this, and then we will figure out how we're going to make this front page pretty, and then by that point it will be time to sew our text block together. I have the template ready to go, and that will be the next step in putting together this little journal that I just think is going to be so pretty. It's just going to be pretty things, flowers and pretty things, and laces and ribbons, and you know, lovely ladies. This one's quite appropriate because the book was 1885, and this is out of one of those Girls on Annuals for 1888. So that's actually how they would have dressed. So, all right, pause, and I'm going to, next time you see this, all this will be gone. Okay, so we've got that all. See the difference in coming in a little closer. I know it's probably overkill as opposed to this one, but the heart wants what it wants. So the heart also wants some ink. What can I say? Oh, I wonder who she is. Oh, that's from Othello. All right, a little bit of coffee. Little coffee. So, all those tiny little windows. See all the little windows that had to be cut out? That's when you pull out your plate of glass and you use your really, really pointy X-Acto blade. And just take your time. And if you're like me, it's just very relaxing. This part of it, you don't need to be too precise about making sure you get it around the edges as much as just toning down how bright it looks. I want it to be as subdued as little Alice is. I need to look it up. I think she is the Alice. No, she wouldn't be. No. I was thinking that she was the Alice who was Prince Philip's mother, but no, that the age range doesn't coincide properly. I mean, I know Prince Philip and Elizabeth were cousins, and that Queen Victoria is their connecting. They shared Queen Victoria as a great-great-grandmother? Great-grandmother? Great-great-grand? I don't know. I'm not that informed. But I do know his mother's name was Alice, that they were actually related, he and Elizabeth, which is very common. It's hard to marry a royal in Europe and not be related to each other somehow. There we go. All right, so now I've got enough sewing. This is starting to really bulk up, but it's what I want. And I have, oh yeah, isn't that cute? And it leaves my little owl is still noticeable. Let's come in a bit. So the little owl is still noticeable. The 1885, that's very important. So let's see how we're going to do this and get this front page looking pretty. And it's just easier to do it now than this could all be done afterwards. But I may as well do it now before I sew it all together. There we go. And I've just collected a few little bits and bobs of things that I plan on putting in, little snippets from books with a variety, Victorian and Edwardian, and even a little bit of Kate Greenaway. There's a little Kate in there, and a few little things here and there. So it's going to be a little bit of, like I said, I was finally in the mood for pretty. Now I've got to figure out if this one has a side or not. This is the side. Alright. It's fabric onto paper. I'm going to use 3-in-1 for this, but I'm going to do it very, very thin. I think it should be fine. Oh, I need to thin it out again with a bit of acetone. I find that you can only do that maybe 2 times at the most, and then you just need to get rid of it and start a new bottle. There's only so many times you can thin out your thin out your 3-in-1 or your Fabri-Tac. Wonder if we'll ever know if they're the same thing or not, and what it is that is the difference. Hope you're all doing well. We're doing well. Our little lady continues to act like nothing happened, even though she scared the living daylights out of us. Where did I put my little flag? Scared the living daylights out of us. My goodness. As she continues to do. My goodness. When we lost Dot, we swore off. We said, we can't do it anymore. Our heart can't take it. No more. No more. And caved. I caved. And my husband can't say no to me. He's wonderfully supportive. So, and then we go and have so many things. Her teeth are acting up, and then, oh, I forget what else. And then just the worry when they get spayed. That's always a worry. There we go. So that should hold just fine. Very pretty. Now I want to lay down this little baby first. I think I want it on top. And then Alice can go beside it. I'm wondering if I want to, when I lay Alice on top, here's where you're going to get inside my brain. There we go. When I lay Alice on top, we lose all this. So I am going to see if we can move it and stick it out the other side. You'll see what I mean in a second. Now there's a little piece there that needs to come off. There. Alright, so if that goes there, now we don't need that. That's leading nowhere. So let's take that off. So here's one of those instances where we're doctoring our fussy cut to suit what we want. So if we put this one here, and we put little Alice right here, I can't move her over too far because I don't want to cover up the 1885, but I could move this over as if it's coming up from behind her, like so. Now that I like. All right, so that means, oh boy, this is where we use our pencils and figure out where we want to put it. I'm not going to put any glue on this petal because I want to tuck Alice's little hat under there. The rest of it's going to get glue as soon as I can find it. Oh, my desk is such a mess. I'm going to move over here. I don't want to drop any glue by accident. Now, some of this paper is going to be laying on top of the lace, but there's enough of it that's going to be on paper that I'm not worried about it adhering and staying put. It'll be fine. So that one petal has no glue on it. Now I have to be careful that I have this where I want it. I don't want to rub any glue over the pencil marks or I'll never be able to erase the pencil marks. The glue will seal the pencil. So you have to be careful with that. All right, and then this needs to go next. But let's make sure that we can get little Alice sort of peeking out from amongst that little flower. Oh, we just got enough space. Yeah. See, now I'm second guessing myself. I do love her little hat, and when I tuck it behind, we don't get to see her whole hat. Oh, I think I've changed my mind, and that's an artist's prerogative, right? I'm going to put a little bit of glue under here and glue that down. I still haven't taken the time to go get my nice soft kneading eraser out of my painting gear, my watercolor urban sketching bag. That's really ideal for pencil marks on old paper. It's just a nice soft kneaded eraser. It's like using plasticine to remove the pencil lines. Alright, so if Alice goes here, I want some of that green showing. So if Alice goes here, then that goes there. So I'm going to put this all right. See what I mean? 45 minutes just to do an opening page. Oh my goodness. It's all right. So if you go there, don't push it down yet, Catherine. I find if you just pat it into place, yeah, see, that needs to come down a bit. Come on. There. Okay. Now, this little leaf needs a little glue. Tiny little bit of glue. Stay down. There we go. And then Alice will be easy. Let's move you back up. Alice will be easy peasy. How am I for time? I'm not bad. And the next time we get together, I should have a text block, because if you know me by now, I don't sew text blocks on camera. It's just too nerve-wracking. So there's a lot of things I'll do on camera. And you know I do nerve-wracking things on camera. Like that first time that I did the gilding wax. Oh my goodness. Live. That was a little bit nuts. So I stuck true. This is my third week of what I call my Me Mondays, where no camera, and I just I just do a little bit of work in my quote book. Come on up, Alice, just for a second. A little bit of work in my quote book. And a little bit of work on whatever my latest project is. You'll see, obviously I got a lot done here, but I don't turn my camera on. So this is actually Tuesday. And so you'll see it Wednesday. So I guess if it's a me Monday, it's a we Wednesday, because we get back together again on Wednesdays. And so far that's working nicely for me. I feel a little bit, oh, come on. How sweet does little Alice look? I see some more pencil here. There's a little bit of pencil here that got glue on it, and it's sealed underneath. And I'm just not going to let it bug me. I might do a little camouflage with some coffee. And then let's put this together and we'll have one last look of them all loosey-goosey before I start sewing them together. Oh, wait. One last thing. Let me show you what I did with the flat lace that I put in the center signature, which is number 5, which has the music from that book that I just got the other day. I did a wide piece of lace. I lined it with some old paper here. And so it's a little tuck spot. And a little bit of sewing. So that looks pretty. And it's not too bulky, but it sticks out far. So it sticks out past what these other laces are doing. Where's our cover? And then we'll get a little hint. Oh, I also worked on these on my Me Monday, because I had the end papers, the loose leaves, came out nicely, so I was able to make use of them and put tuck spots on the front and back with the actual end papers. Isn't that nice? So that's something Nancy did in one of her most recent books. Oh yeah, that's just really, I'm happy with that. I think this is going to be a pretty little book. I'm going to pick some really pretty lace, and I'm not going to muck it up. It deserves to be pretty. Little spring book. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and that you're doing well. And we'll get together soon. Take care. Bye.